Welcome to Inspiring Narratives, your favorite channel for uplifting stories, renewed hope, and cultivating a deeper connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Discover with me how turning to Allah can lead you to amazing changes in your life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are back with another uplifting story that will, by the grace of Allah, strengthen your faith and renew your hope, inshallah. Let's start by sending peace and blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hopefully you will say this with me as well. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali wa ashabi ajma'in. So the woman in this story said, I got married recently. I'm still a newlywed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me with my first pregnancy. But unfortunately, it lasted only 3 months before I faced some problems and I miscarried. I was sad, but I told myself, Alhamdulillah, in all situations. It must be for the best. It wasn't written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for me this year to have a baby. Allah will bless me next year, inshallah. My faith in Allah is huge and the certainty in my heart is strong. I always make dua to Allah and I live my life with dhikr. The dhikr I mostly repeat is Istighfar. Allah blessed me with this marriage and blessed me through the blessings of Istighfar. It's funny thinking back to before I got married. Honestly, it seemed impossible at the time. For starters, he was from a different country, which was already a big no in my family. Plus, my family is super strict. Marrying someone from our own country was one thing, but marrying from another country was a totally different situation. And then the idea of me traveling to another country, that was out of the question. I saw it happen with my cousins, and my family, especially my uncles, never entertained the idea. So yeah, it felt like it was impossible for me too. So back when I was at university, I was juggling 2 things, studying and a second job to support myself. Even though my family was there for me, I wanted to be more independent and set big goals for myself. Unlike my sisters who focused on marriage and settling down, I wanted to build my own life, work and be independent. Getting the job wasn't easy. It felt almost impossible at first. But thanks to the blessings of constant istighfar, I landed this online marketing job with almost no effort at all. And that's how I got closer to this person at university. We worked together and through our work we started talking regularly. I really admired his ambition, his adventurous approach to life, and how he always had so many things going on. I actually learned a lot from him. There were a lot of things in my life that I would make istighfar for with the intention that Allah makes them easy for me and without struggle. One of the first things that I wanted was a good job that I could do from home so it wouldn't affect my studies. And alhamdulillah, that happened thanks to istighfar. I also made dua for Allah to bless me with someone who could help me with the work because there was so much I didn't know, and if I had to spend time learning it all, it would have impacted my studies. By the grace of Allah, this person came into my life and he ended up being the reason I learned so much without it affecting my education. As we worked together and talked more, our relationship naturally grew stronger. I eventually mentioned him to my mother, but she told me it wasn't possible and warned me not to bring it up to my father. She was worried that if my father found out, he might keep me at home and stop both my studies and my job. She was really cautious, saying things could go downhill quickly. But in my head I kept thinking, what now? What's the solution? This person needed to officially propose because other people were starting to come forward with proposals too. If it became official, my father would marry me off to this person. So for 3 months I tried to convince my mother to talk to my father. She kept saying, if this person is meant for you, Allah will make it happen. If not, then it's not meant to be. Neither you, I, or your father have any control over these situations. Her words gave me confidence and made me hold on even more to this person, especially since he had plans of our future and wanted to stay in our hometown. He was a hard-working student, had his own business, and was building a future in trade and investing his time and efforts in this country. The first time he officially approached my father, things didn't go well at all. My father turned it into a big problem and made me stay home just as my mother had predicted. He told me there's no university. My uncles got involved trying to convince my father to let me continue my studies. saying it's natural for a young lady in university to attract interest, and you should be grateful that he came through the front door and not through the window. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about when I say that. Let me know in the comments. After a lot of convincing from my uncles, my father finally agreed I could go back to university to complete my studies. During those 2 weeks, I was constantly repeating Istighfar, with the intention that I continue my education, that we would get married. Although the circumstances looked impossible, I had trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will make things easy for us, inshallah. My father set the condition that so long as I'm studying, I shouldn't think about marriage, and if there's anything of that nature, we'll postpone it till the end of the year. I had about a year left until graduation. The person I was talking to was eager to get married, to settle down. His family was pressuring him to get married, and if he didn't, he would have to marry his cousin. So he was eager to make things official. He told me to keep bringing up the topic with my mother and to keep praying. I decided to try again with my mother, this time with a strong belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't let me down. To my surprise, this time my mother didn't get angry at me. For the first time, she listened to me calmly. She asked me to give her a week to talk to my father and told me to focus on my studies in the meantime. During that week, I continued to repeat Istighfar, and by the grace of Allah, my father agreed. First time my mother talked to him, he agreed to the engagement with this person. I was shocked by how easily he agreed. 3 weeks later, his family came over. We got officially engaged and then we got married. It was a bit of a complicated marriage, but by the grace of Allah, things worked out. Some things were tough, like dealing with paperwork and my husband's residency status, but with Allah's help, it all fell into place. We started out in a small apartment, but we managed. And I was happy because I valued stability and wanted a normal life, even if it meant making do with less. My father wasn't thrilled about this, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a lot of things easier for us, and for that I'm so grateful. My father even compromised on things that he would normally be very strict about. But the most important thing was that we had peace and tranquility in our lives. My mother and sister would visit me and tell me that I should have waited longer to find a bigger apartment, or maybe waited a year until marriage. They didn't understand why I was so happy with my situation, but I would tell them that I have something powerful that brought me so much happiness, al-Istighfar. I used to say that Istighfar would bring blessings, and indeed, just like I hoped. After only 3 months, Allah blessed us with an amazing apartment. We were renting it at first because we couldn't afford to buy a place, but miraculously we got it without having to pay a single penny up front. We stayed there for 6 months, and during that time many things happened. I was consistent with Istighfar throughout the whole day. Allah blessed us with an even better job than before, and I was still able to continue my studies. Eventually we were able to buy an apartment in installments, and we even managed to get a car. Everything just flowed, all with the blessings of Istighfar. By the grace of Allah, we even travelled to visit my husband's family, even though we hadn't planned to travel for at least 2 years due to our financial situation. Alhamdulillah, Allah is the provider, and Istighfar solves problems and financial difficulties. I shared with you that I got pregnant at the beginning of our marriage, but unfortunately that pregnancy didn't last. I was sad, but also content, because I realized that if the pregnancy had continued, I wouldn't have been able to continue my studies or my work, which required me to be active and mobile. So even though I was sad, I knew that Allah had planned good things for me. 7 months later, I got pregnant again. Now I'm happy to share that I'm 9 months pregnant and everything is going perfectly. I want to tell everyone not to lose hope in Allah's mercy. My father was an extremely strict person, and he had many rules that seemed impossible to break. But through Istighfar, many things in our lives became easier. For example, my husband's travel to continue his studies, and Allah blessed him with many opportunities. Hopefully in the near future I'll be able to join him, and we might even get citizenship in the country he's in. Honestly, everything that has happened to us feels like a series of miracles. So many people our age dream of the things that we've achieved, and many older people in the same field tell me that they are amazed by how much we've accomplished. People often tell me that I'm blessed, They ask me, what are you doing? And I always tell them it's istighfar. Istighfar is powerful by the grace of Allah. Many people overlook the blessings of istighfar, but it's amazing. And you only really know the power of istighfar when you start practicing. No situation is impossible or too difficult for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is capable of all things. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever increases his prayers for forgiveness, Allah will grant him relief from every worry and a way out from every hardship and provide for him in ways he does not expect." All of this grace and generosity comes from the blessings of istighfar. So don't overlook it and repeat it often with the intention of seeking Allah's forgiveness and pleasing Him. And hopefully, my dear friends, you will soon share good news with me about how your lives have changed for the better. And I pray that Allah will answer all your prayers real soon, inshallah. This brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you found any value in this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your family and friends. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, then consider subscribing. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so do leave a comment below. I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.